The first time someone mentioned the bunny man, it sounded like a joke, a bad urban legend whispered at parties. A man in a rabbit costume with an axe, hiding in the woods, but the fear surrounding his name was real enough that people stopped walking certain roads. After sunset, real enough that parents warned their children to never go near the old bridge at night. This story begins in Fairfax County, Virginia, a place that looks calm during the day. Green trees, quiet neighborhoods, and long, empty roads. But when night falls, the woods seem to breathe, and something watches from between the trees. In the early 1900s, an asylum stood hidden deep in the forest, a place meant to hold the criminally insane. Locals say it was overcrowded, underfunded, and cruel. One night, a prison transport carrying inmates from the asylum crashed. On a dark rural road, the guards were killed on impact, and dozens of prisoners escaped into the woods. Search parties were sent immediately. Most of the inmates were found, either alive or dead, but 2 were never recovered. Weeks later, people began finding skinned rabbits hanging from trees, their bodies arranged like warnings. The first escaped inmate was found dead near the old bridge, his body hanging, his stomach filled with rabbit meat. The second inmate was never found. Years passed and the asylum was eventually shut down. The bridge remained, and the woods grew thicker. Then in the 1970s, the sightings began again. Teenagers reported seeing a tall figure dressed in a white bunny suit standing near the road, sometimes holding an axe, sometimes holding a bloody hatchet. At first, police dismissed it as a prank until the attacks started. A couple sitting in a car late at night reported something smashing against their window. When they looked up, they saw a man in a bunny costume screaming at them before throwing a hatchet into their windshield. Police searched the area but found nothing, only footprints leading into the woods, and hanging from a tree nearby, the remains of a rabbit. More reports followed night after night, always near the same bridge. People described the bunny man as unnaturally tall, his suit dirty and torn, his movements jerky and aggressive. Some said his eyes were visible through the costume, wide and filled with rage. Others claimed there were no eyes at all, just darkness behind the masked. Locals began calling the bridge Bunnyman Bridge, and no one wanted to cross it alone, especially after midnight. They say if you go there at exactly 12, you can hear scratching sounds coming from the trees, like claws digging into bark. Then comes the smell, metallic and rotten, followed by footsteps, slow, heavy, circling you. If you turn your lights off, you might see him standing at the edge of the bridge, head tilted, listening, waiting. Some claim he whispers, others say he laughs, but everyone agrees on one thing. Once he notices you, you are no longer alone. There are disappearances tied to the bridge. People who were last seen driving through the area late at night. Their cars later found abandoned. Doors open, keys still in the ignition. No signs of struggle, no bodies, just deep scratch marks on the metal, as if something dragged its claws across the car before pulling the driver into the woods. Police files list these as unsolved cases, but locals know better. They leave offerings of carrots and flowers near the bridge, hoping to keep his attention elsewhere. Some believe the bunny man is the last escaped inmate, driven mad by hunger and isolation. Others believe he is something else entirely, a spirit born from violence and fear, bound to the bridge and the woods, feeding on curiosity. The more people talk about it, the stronger he becomes. That is why parents lower their voices when his name is mentioned. That is why locals avoid the bridge even during the day. If you ever find yourself driving through Fairfax County late at night and your headlights catch a flash of white between the trees, do not stop. Do not look back. And whatever you do, never step out of your car near the bridge, because legends say the bunny man does not chase everyone. He only follows those who acknowledge him, those who look too long, those who think it is just a story. And if you hear heavy breathing behind you, mixed with the sound of metal scraping concrete. Remember, the bunny man was never meant to be seen, and now that you have imagined him, he might already be listening.